Welcome back. We are doing another episode of Indie Reads Aloud with an author who is quickly becoming one of my favorites. What she writes is just tremendous, and I can see that the little people in my life, their libraries are really going to expand this summer. Natcole Staskiewicz is back with us again to read another book. Thanks, Natcole, for writing all these awesome children's stories.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's very cool that you're bringing such positive messages to little people. I I'm gonna end up being a really big cheerleader in the program for you because I just think what you do is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. We can never have too many positive messages out there.
I agree 100%. So for those of you who have not met Nicole yet, you need to go back and listen to some of the other episodes so that you can get to know her a little bit and understand a little bit more about the insights in her writing process. She is founder and CEO of Kinder Press and an award-winning author. She's written over 60 books. I can't even imagine. My catalog is at 13 right now, and I'm still just bonking
Mhm.
myself in the head. She has written workbooks, coloring books, low content journals and planners, and a nonfiction work that discusses obtaining financial freedom for grown-ups.
Mhm.
This latest book, I'm really curious to see what this story is. It's called Lacie's Moon. Do you have a copy of it so we can see the cover? I
Mhm.
just think it's a beautiful cover. It's just
Thank you. Isn't
gorgeous.
it? Isn't it? My daughter did the illustrations for this book.
I was going to ask about this
Yes.
because I see that Amy's last name is on there, on the cover. Looks
Maya, yes.
pretty cool. So, tell us where you got the idea for this book. Lacie's Moon is a story that kind of talks about grief in young people, right? That idea of loss. Um, how did you get the idea for the story? Where did it come from?
So we were grieving at that time, and we were also isolated. And I approached my daughter about doing a project, and didn't initially think I was going to do a story about grief. I was just, was trying to get her mind off of it. So I told her to create a character for me, and I'll draw inspiration from that. And it ended up being this character right here
Hmm.
that she drew. And when I saw that character, it's just a story unfolded that aligned with what we were going through. So I just had to write it.
I think that's amazing that a visual brought you to the story rather
Mhm.
than the story driving the art. I've done that too. Sometimes I've seen a visual of something that captures my imagination, and then I have, I stories and stories. I went to
Yes.
the zoo a little while ago with a writer friend, and sitting in front of the camels, and this whole story came out. Right.
Hmm.
So, how long did it take you to really formulate the story and finalize it into a book?
It took me about 4 weeks, about 4 weeks for this. Again, I really felt like it was just pouring out of me, like the
Yeah.
story, and I could visualize it, and hurry up. I'm not typing this fast as some.
I've had that
So
experience.
it really didn't take as long as I thought it would take because this is my debut children's book.
Okay.
So it went by fairly quickly. So
And then it took a little longer for the art to catch up,
yes.
right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The art took a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The art always takes a little bit longer. And that's harder work than coming up with
It
words,
is.
I
It
think.
is. Now you have to
Not
wait.
not being an artist myself, I think the words are easier.
It is. It is.
So how was it collaborating with your daughter on this project?
It was pretty cool. I was excited that, again, she didn't. shy away from it because going back to if you caught the bravery episode
Mm-hmm.
was can she do it? You know, and she tackled with that. And I knew just from her skill set, like, oh, you have it. Just practice. So when I approached her to do this book, for her to say yes, that was another thing. I wasn't going to question it. Like, all right, let's get started. So it was wonderful. And she hadn't read the story. She hadn't read,
Really?
nope, she did not read the story. I told her, I just gave her direction on what I wanted to include or what I wanted, you
So
know.
you did your work independently,
Hmm.
and then it just came
Yeah,
together.
she did not want to read the story. And
That's
I was
interesting.
just amazed how it really came together despite her not reading the story. Because all of
What?
my the illustrators, they of course read the story.
Hmm.
And yeah.
That's absolutely fantastic. That, it just speaks to the deep connection you have with your daughter. That just a few conversations, you were able to really connect and see each other's vision. I think that's
Mhm.
fantastic. I'm
That,
excited to hear this story. I'm looking forward to it. Can you show us that cover one more time? It
sure.
really is a beautiful book. There we go. Lacey's Moon. This is
Lacey's
beautiful.
Moon.
When you get your everything together, show us your screen and take the microphone and read aloud whenever you are ready.
All right. Months have passed since Mom told me the news. We lost two people in our family. She said they went to heaven. I could tell she was hurt and feeling sad, and so was I. One night, the moonlight shined extra bright in my room. I walked into its gaze and thought, what a beautiful full moon. The words echoed in memory. I love you to the moon and back. Before I knew it, I yelled, well, send my love back from the moon. I want you back. Lacie, are you are you still not sleeping well? Mom hurt me. I ran to the bed. Do you want to talk about it? Not tonight, Mama. Get some rest, okay? We can talk about it over breakfast tomorrow. Strawberry banana pancakes with a sprinkle of chocolate chips on top. Hold the whipped cream. I nodded, yes. You got it. Now get some sleep. But I'm not tired, Lacie said. Come here. I got something to tell you. What is it, Mom? There's a story my mom told me when I was about your age. It was about a girl. That was the last thing I remember my mom saying, thought Lacie. Hearing her voice made my eyelids feel heavy and sleepy. I woke up floating in the air. The beams are carrying me away from Earth, pulling me to the moon. Hello, teacup. Who said that? It is me, said the moon. How did you know I was once called that? I know a lot about you. I carry a lot of love for you. You carry what? Who are they? And why am I here? One at a time, teacup, the moon laughed. These are your hearts. I collect the love from all over, but these are yours. Each heart is from a person who loves you. They often share their memories with me, and when they come together, they form a big heart. Really? Said Lacie. Is the one over there from my annoying little brother? It sure is. He smiled. The moon smiled. I guess he loves you more than a little. Let's go for a ride, he begins. Can I ask you something? Yes, excuse me, I'm sorry. Can I ask you something? Yes, Lacie said. You said you wanted your love back. What would you do if I sent it back to you? I would hug them and tell them how much I love them and never let go. That sounds very nice. What if they were sick? Lacie stared off into space. You would not want them to suffer just to make you happy, would you? No, Lacie said while hanging her head down. Look over there, the moon exclaimed. I have seen many beautiful things from up here. Wow, a star is being born, Lacie said with shock. That's right, he continued. I have watched many stars come and go. Living and dying is a part of life. Did you know that when a star dies, it lets out a big bang called supernova? Really? Said Lacie. And it is felt by all around it, said the moon. I spread the love I get from Earth to carry us through sadness. Wow, said Lacie. My mom said they go to heaven. Yes, and when they go, they leave behind something much more beautiful. Lacie looked around silently. It is okay to be sad. It is not anyone's fault. It is a part of life. You do not have to worry about anyone who goes to heaven. There is no sickness or sadness there. Do you know when I will go? Lacie asked. No one knows. That is what makes life so precious. Lacie paused. Do you think heaven looks like this? You know, really pretty? I do, Teacup. I do. What are you thinking? Asked the moon. What if they forget about me? That's the thing about love. It remembers. It is forever. No fights or unspoken words can change that, said the moon. I hear all the stories of how you used to dance with the teacup on your head. Lacie laughs. I'm glad I outgrew that. And sometimes you and your brother do not get along, but you see how much he cares for you. Yeah, I guess I kind of love him too, Lacie said with a smile. Look up, teacup. Take this ring, the moon said. It is special, and I want you to have it. Why is it so special? If you could think of one thing your loved one would tell you, what do you think that would be? For me to be happy. This ring will help you feel better. Thank you, said Lacie. I won't let it out of my sight. Lacie awoke in her bed, not sure if she had been dreaming. She looked around her room and noticed her old teacup. It has a picture of the moon on it. She checks her hands, and there was no ring there. Yep, I was dreaming, Lacie said unhappily. Lacie, come and get breakfast, Mom called out. Lacie went into the kitchen and stared at the mountain of pancakes on the table. But there was something else that also caught her eye. On her mom's finger was a ring, but not just any ring. Mom, where did you get that? Lacie asked. Her mom smiled with a wink and said, eat your food before it gets cold. Lacie sat there puzzled and ate all of her food. When she returned to her room, there was something sparkling on her bed. She walked over to it. It's the ring, Lacie said with thrill. That means it was not a dream. I got to go tell Mom, she thought. She ran to her mom, and before she could say anything, her mom said, so, how did you like the story of the girl who rides the moon? Lacie looked surprised. She was beginning to understand that there was more to her story. It was not just a story, Mom. I was there too. They stared at each other and smiled. Lacie gave her mom a big hug. A voice echoed, love is forever. Moon, Lacie paused and said, thank you, while hugging her mother so tight. For what? Mom said. Lacie chuckled silently and said, I love you. I know, Mom said playfully. The heart never forgets. The end.
That was beautiful.
Thank
Do you
you.
actually have a special ring like that? That's
There
gorgeous.
it
So
is.
is there a story about how you got your ring?
Well, no, I saw this ring after I wrote the story, and it looked so aligned with the book. I said, I gotta have it. I
So
gotta
you
have
so you stumbled on the ring after you wrote the
after.
story?
Yes, yes,
See, that's fate in alignment with your thought. I think that's wonderful.
absolutely.
Very cool. I really enjoyed the things you said about even little brothers can love us when we don't expect.
Hmm.
And I think that translates into all sorts of people can love us when we don't expect.
Absolutely.
And we can surprise other people by loving them back.
Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
This is an absolutely fantastic book. Please tell your daughter she did an amazing job with the
Thank you.
illustrations.
Thank you. I definitely
They are
look into that.
so beautiful. So tell us, what do you have in process now? What might be coming up for you next?
Well, as I mentioned on an earlier show, I have a Happy Birthday Crimpleton children's book, but then I'm also working on a fantasy sci-fi book, and
For an adult audience?
for an adult, for a young adult.
Very
So I
cool.
don't have an anticipated release date for that because I'm currently working on the manuscript. But those are the two things that is in the work. The Happy Birthday Crimpleton one um may be published by August.
Okay. And do we have a working title for the young adult book yet?
Ah,
You don't have to share if you're not
yeah,
ready.
yeah, because
Yeah.
it's different, and
So let me ask you this. Do your titles come first, or do your stories come first and then the story invokes the title?
each project is different, but majority of the time, the title comes first because it kind of aligns with the message too. It supports it, and it's like, oh yeah, yeah. I love when things click, but when you
Yeah.
have to work for it, and it's like, oh come on.
Yeah, right? I always feel that way whenever we have to write the synopsis for the back cover of the book. That seems to be the hardest thing authors do is how do you figure out how to condense a story into just a paragraph for the back cover?
Mhm.
And I find a lot of frustration with that myself.
Yes.
Like, come on, you know this story
I
better than anybody
know.
else.
Especially when it comes to you on one, like there's a difference between you're tackling something that you've never done. Okay,
Mm,
you've accomplished it. Can I not have this problem with any other problem with any other
right.
problem?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
each book is different, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
yeah.
Very fun. I'm really thrilled about your writing career. I'm so pleased that it's going so well. I'm overjoyed that we found each other at the event we did together, and I hope that we can continue to share our writing careers together as time goes on.
Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention that Lacey's Moon was listed as therapist. They recommended, one
What
of
a
the top
great
books.
idea.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's a great idea for grief
Mhm.
processing. Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on the program
Welcome.
again. I appreciate it. And please come back when you get the next books finished.
I will.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.